All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Growth Creator Model series. This is a series that I created because I wanted to walk you guys through the lessons that I learned from taking home $250,000 per month in profit. Okay. Of course, this is not necessarily a common outcome, right? Like most agencies, most growth consultant will never actually be able to take home $250,000 in profit every month. So, but if you do pay attention to this series, you will get to look to notice the levers that you need to pull in order to be able to achieve this effortlessly. Okay. And one of the levers that is super important to understand is pricing. Pricing is the thing that will help you achieve this type of profit. You will not get there because you're pretty good at Facebook ad. You will not get there because you're good at sales. You will not get there because you're good at building sales systems and things like that. You will only get to the point where you take home $250,000 a month in profit because the way that you price your services is completely different from how others do it. Okay? If most people are broke, then if we try to price our services the same way that they do it, we will also end up what? Broke. Okay? So today I want to talk to you about how to price based on potential and probability and not for your time or how much you think it costs. Okay. But before I go over this, I want to let you know that if you want more depth in this, how to take home $250,000 a month in profit and how I scaled client acquisition.io to $600K per month, you can actually click the link below. You'll be able to access this training, which goes over, which is a more in-depth training. It's actually 90 minutes long. And one of the things that I don't think you guys understand with this training is that you also get access to an implementation call, right? Which is, I'm showing you guys how to actually get there, but the knowledge isn't enough for you to bridge the gap. You also need execution. So if you're interested in, actually, I'm also doing these. I'm personally going to be doing the first implementation call of everyone who goes through this training, where I design your 6-month plan to get to 100K per month profit. I'll design and give you a walkthrough of our growth creator leverage fulfillment structure, right? I'll walk you through how we built $15,000 plus build and release offers, and also show you the client acquisition infrastructure. As you guys may notice, right now I'm not talking a lot about how you get leads, how you book appointments, and everything like that, but I'll be walking you through in this call and also help you build your pricing and also show you how to retain your clients, okay? I'm only doing 5 of these per week, so I'm not doing a lot of them. And if I'm not doing them, then you're speaking with a client acquisition growth consultant who I pay $20,000 a month, so they can audit your model, your current offer, your pricing, your fulfillment, and most importantly, your client acquisition infrastructure. Okay. And after the walkthrough, he'll also do the same thing, kind of like give you a personalized roadmap for this, right? So if you guys want it, just click the link below and you'll be able to access it, right? But let's get back to pricing lessons. So why is pricing super important? Well, the reason why pricing is super important is because we only have so many years on this planet, right? And most people, they price things based on how much they think their time is worth. So most of people are actually just selling time, right? So if you look at this, the way that you want to price your services is you want to price your service as something that is super unique. Okay, as an example, if you were to compare a Toyota Camry, which is a commodity car, a commoditized car, why? Because there are so many other cars that would do the same thing, that offer the same features as a Toyota Camry, right? I could think of 100 cars just like a Toyota Camry. But if you think of a car like a Porsche GT3, it delivers something that is super unique. It's not just trying to give you savings on how much gas you pay for. It's not just trying to offer you the most reliable car. It's offering you also a certain level of performance that you can only get, a certain level of feel that you can only get if you were to buy and do business with Porsche, right? So what that happens is it ends up giving these businesses a different level of pricing power. So the more specialized, the more depth and the more depth of specialization you have, the greater leverage you have on your pricing, right? So if you were to think of commodity pricing, you would think Facebook ad agency. As an example, if I try to hire an agency that does Facebook ad for me, I'm probably not going to spend more than 5K per month. If I were to hire a short form content agency, I'm probably not going to be expecting to spend more than 2.5K a month. If I was to hire a cold email agency, same thing. If any one of them comes to me and they're like, hey, it's 10 grand, I'll be like, are you stupid? Right? Just like if I was to go buy a Camry, there's no way Toyota is going to tell me, oh, it's 60 grand or 100 grand. I'll be like, guys, are you guys nuts? But if I was to go talk to Porsche and they're like, hey, GT3 is 400 grand, I actually would be willing to spend that because the thing that I get from them is completely unique. And that happens the same way when you become a growth creator. When you become a growth creator and you create the offer that I spoke about in the first episode, you guys end up creating something that is so unique that your pricing is based on the potential that the machine that you're creating in these businesses will create and also the probability of it happening. Okay? So the depth of specialization dictates how much you're able to charge. If you think that you'll build a successful and lasting business from being someone who integrates something like ChatGPT or run lead gen campaigns for your clients, you might as well get a job because that will be more sustainable in the long run. And this is super important, guys. I can't tell you how competitive business is. So you don't become great by trying to sell things that are simple, okay? Because when you try to sell something that is simple, you're only thinking of yourself. And therefore, if you're only trying to do the least amount of work and get paid the most amount of money, well, anybody can come in and beat you out of your position because they will be willing to do a little bit more and maybe for less. And that's how companies die. They get comfortable for doing the same shit, for not really innovating, and they get taken out of business, okay? Try taking out a company like Porsche that built these really amazing vehicles. And by the way, I like Porsche, so that's why I'm going to use it a lot. Versus a Camry. It's super easy to compete with a Camry, but you're not going to be able to compete with GT3. And if you guys don't know anything about the Porsche culture, like the people who buy Porsches, they literally have this fantasy about these cars. I have never driven a GT3 and I'm still talking about it. Like that's how good building a great product and a great service is. You get people making YouTube videos to an audience with 10,000 people and they've never even driven the car. Do you guys see? This is the lesson. The lesson is get so good at building a service and be so specialized that eventually people will start talking about your service or product without ever having experienced it. All right, so congrats, Porsche. Great job. They got me talking about their cars. That's crazy. Okay, so check this out. So again, like I told you guys, we're going to do build and release offers. We're not going to be charging on a retainer monthly like the traditional businesses would do. Okay, so let me tell you guys a quick story about how I did it with client acquisition. So at first I was selling an appointment setting service for $1,500 a month, sometimes $2,000 a month if people wanted more volume. But I decided that wasn't enough for me to scale, because if I wanted to make $600,000 at $2,000 a month, I would need, I think let's do the math. $600,000 divided by, I think it's 300, right? Divided by $2,000, that's 300 clients. Imagine managing 300 clients. Isn't that crazy? So that's why for me, I think charging retainer on the front end is pretty stupid. So I decided to 5x my pricing from $1,500 to $8,000 for a predetermined set of deliverables. So I had realized that my clients were failing because they had other problems in their businesses. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. These problems are keeping you guys from scaling, even if I can deliver you guys the leads and the appointments. So what I decided to do is I became a growth creator. I became someone who would not just solve appointment setting problems. I would solve offer refinement. I would refine their offer. I would literally plug and play an offer that I have seen work on other campaigns. I would design their sales process, structure everything from lead opt-in to how we're going to convert them on a call, to what content are they going to consume before they get on a call, to how we're going to structure the sales call and everything like that. I would I would build their outbound campaign, of course. I would build and train and place a team of $3 an hour setters, which we still do till this day. But today the offer has become way more Porsche-like, GT3-like than it is right now. This is a simple one. But guys, if you guys could take this offer and go implement it in SaaS. Go implement it in other coaching businesses. Go implement it in consulting businesses. Go implement it in recruitment agencies. Guys, this could be a 10K offer. So right now, I want you guys to realize that I'm literally giving you guys what has made me almost $5 million in 2 years. So if I was you, I would pay close attention, because this is worth a lot of money. So I would build the outreach system and place the people in their company so the client doesn't actually have to do anything. I would build their VSL, I would build their nurturing content, and then I would also give them access to a community, because community is super good. And then I would also do weekly check-ins and weekly calls with other experts on my team. So I was selling more than just appointments, not because people wouldn't pay me for more appointments, but because the market had become aware that it wasn't enough just to do outreach. And till this day, the reason why I'm spending a lot of time educating you guys about this model is because until you fix your model, I don't really care how many appointments you're booking. You're not going to be able to scale your business. Okay? So I'm actually solving the problem that is going to keep you in the same position that I was in when I was making 20K, 30K per month. Stress the heck out. Okay? So in today's market, unless you have a novel way of delivering an outcome or 10 times more value in your offer, you will be left unseen in the DMs. You will be ignored. Okay? When someone came to me after having spent 2 years after making, when I was still running my, at first when I started out, when someone would come to me and they'd be like, hey, I just spent 2 years selling Facebook ad. The most I've ever made was 20K per month, but I'm still struggling to scale it. I gave them a new offer and an acquisition infrastructure, right? And there wasn't anything else that would keep them from scaling that I wasn't solving. So when I gave them my price, which was $8,000, $10,000 upfront, they couldn't say no. As saying no was saying yes to remain in their current situation. And when someone has spent a year, 2 years in the same position, when they know they have the potential to grow, looking at everybody else, people who are actually a little bit dumb, make more money than them, that thing it's really painful. Okay? So I was like, hey man, you can stay in the same position, or you can allow me to change everything in your business. And from that, I'm not sure you guys are aware of these case studies, but Francesco, when he also went from like a paid ads agency to I think this was a TikTok agency, he went from 0 to 25K per month in 60 days. And this was kind of like with a new offer. Amar, I'm sure you guys have also heard of him. He went from literally never being able to scale past 20K per month to making $60,000 per month in just 7 weeks from the new positioning and the new offer we gave him, which was super impressive, right? I'm sure you guys see that this interview has 11,000 views and is for a reason. So check this out. Now, how do you structure your pricing? Here is the thing. We don't charge on time. We charge on the potential of the outcome, okay? So if you're building someone a system, a team, or offering a done for you that has proven to deliver, let's say, $250,000 in new annual revenue. So let's say you're like, hey, I'll build you an advertising campaign. I'll build you an outbound dialing team. I'll set up your sales systems. And we've noticed that if this is implemented consistently, if these actions are taken consistently for the next 90 days, 6 months, we can easily add you an extra 25 grand per month, okay? Which is more than 250K per year. That's kind of like the outcome that this thing will deliver. But the thing you have to understand is not everyone that you do business with and that you serve will be able to consistently achieve this outcome, right? Because they might not be as disciplined. They may not be good on camera, so their everything doesn't hit right, okay? So we have to take into consideration that not everyone is going to be able to achieve the outcome. So we have to say, hey, maybe 50% of people who we actually built this for will achieve the outcome consistently. So now what we need to do is we take the potential revenue, new revenue added, and then we multiply by the probability of it happening, and then we get a new potential of 125 grand per year if we build this for you in your business. Okay, so let me repeat this. The potential outcome is you need to do the revenue that you can add to someone, and then you multiply it, okay, by the percentage of it probability, by the probability of it happening, which is 50%, and then you get $125,000 that we'll kind of like present the consistency of the thing happening, right? And then what we do is we charge 10% of the potential outcome, not the outcome that we can generate if we really dial everything in, but the potential times the probability of the potential happening, and then we charge 10%. So if you were to charge 10% of 125 grand that you can bring to that business, that's 12.5K upfront. Okay? And that's how you justify charging 10, 15 grand, 20 grand for you building something like this in someone's business. So when people are like, oh, but why are you charging so expensive? No, I'm charging you on the potential outcome, not on how much time I'm going to spend, not how much does it cost me to deliver, right? The only people who charge based on time and how much the cost of goods sold, are broke people. And we're not broke. So we don't want to do what they do. Never do what broke people do. Okay? Now, so that's how we price. So you charge, it's outcome times probability of the outcome and 10% of the potential outcome. Okay? Let me know if this makes sense. Please leave a comment in the chat. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the leverage provided by this pricing. The first one is client acquisition cost. So with the upfront payment for your build and release offer, your new client affords you the ability to acquire the next client or clients without paying anything out of pocket. So you never need to borrow money. You never need to raise funds to scale your business. You just need to close one deal and you're good to go. On average, our cost to acquire a new client is around 25% of the deal size. So if I'm charging 10%, then I'm comfortably able to spend 2.5K to acquire a new client. And if someone spends 10 grand with us, I'm super comfortable to spend it because this wasn't even my money in the first place. So you literally become a capital allocator. So that's why this growth creator model, you actually really need to be good with math. You can't run it off of emotions. You need to understand that, hey, I'm going to spend 5%, which is, so if we take 25% of whatever money they spend with us, then that means that 5% of that not of the 25%, but like the actual of the deal size, 5% of the deal size will go to acquiring the leads, 5% will go to getting the leads to book a call, and 15% will be given to the closer. It could be 10 to 15% as you scale, will be, hey, convert this appointment into a closed deal. So if you're charging 10K, you can afford to acquire as many clients. You can afford to acquire 4 new clients, really, with one client paying you. So now imagine having a traditional agency and with a traditional pricing model trying to compete with this growth creator model. You would never beat a growth creator because they have a lot of capital up front. So they can afford to do what? To outspend you. They'll outmarket you. Now, that's why, for me, this is the mistake I did. This is why I say this a lot of time is when I made the millions, I forgot to reinvest in marketing because I was just stupid. I didn't really think through that. Hey, I'm actually super profitable on the front end. I should actually reinvest in marketing and actually get more leads, get more appointments, and get more deals. Right. So this is the beauty of this pricing model: is you get a lot up front and you get to I think Hormozi called it client finance acquisition, something like that. So the client actually finances the acquisition. And then the next thing is fulfillment cost. Now you have enough money, let's say 25%, to serve this client and solve any problem that would probably keep them from scaling. You have the capital to buy any solution or hire any expert out there. Nothing is out of reach for you to solve for your clients. So what you can really think of this model is people lend you their money. So you literally become an investor for your clients. And this is something that I want you guys to understand. Client acquisition.io, when you decide to do business with us, you're not buying an appointment setting thing. Essentially, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, Serge, here is 15 grand as an example. Can you please go buy every single thing that would help me, that would make it inevitable for me not to win? So for me, I take that money from a bunch of different clients and then I spend $150,000 on payroll every month to go hire the best media buyers. People are spending 60 grand a month a day on ads. I go find the best systems builders. I go hire the best growth consultants. So for 15 grand, what you're actually doing by working with us is you're accessing even more leverage. And that's the thing that I want you guys to become. I want you guys to become the investors for your clients. You go buy the solutions on their behalf, and because you're more profitable, you can go spend on a lot more insights than they can on by themselves. Okay? So that's really how it works. So the fulfillment cost, since you're profitable, you get to be able to deliver more value to your clients than what they're able to afford. And then the next thing is profits. If you don't, let's say if you're in a position where you don't want to innovate or grow fast, you can essentially keep 50% margins. But the most important thing is you're now free from your business. You don't have to focus on appointment setting. You don't have to do sales. You don't have to do any fulfillment. So now you're actually an owner because you're just a capital allocator. People give you money. You reinvest in marketing. You invest in sales. You invest in fulfillment. And then the machine just keeps flowing, right? The biggest pain most service providers face isn't acquiring clients to what most people's believe, right? The biggest issue with most businesses is balancing acquiring clients and serving the clients that they have. So as an example, I think I mentioned this on my live on Instagram yesterday. We had this client who's making multiple six figures, or this prospect who was like, hey, I'm tired of this model. But I told him, hey, what you're experiencing is not the model, the issue. The issue is the fact that you haven't learned to remove yourself from fulfillment. So what he's doing is he's really good at acquiring your clients, but he gets stuck in fulfillment. Therefore, he feels the pain and the workload of fulfilling on new clients, and now is getting pissed at the fact that his business model doesn't work. No. The lesson that he should get is, oh my God, I'm starting to feel pain here. I should actually remove myself from what? From fulfilling my clients, from serving my clients myself. But the only way you're able to do that is if you have enough money up front to be able to hire yourself out of that position. Okay? So until you realize that the business is a game of who can level up in level of pain, you'll think that experiencing pain is bad. For me, when I experience pain, it's just a time for me to level up. It's not you experience pain and then you give up. No, it's you experience pain and you find the model or the protocol or the strategy to get you out of that pain. If entrepreneurs would quit every time there was pain, there wouldn't be any business on the face of the planet. Literally nothing. Because business, all it is a matter of like, hey, who can sustain the most amount of pain? Okay? So never sell out of your dreams of building a great company because you can't solve the current pain level that you're experiencing, right? There's so many people who have done it better than us. Why are we trying to settle? Why are we trying to, sell out of our dreams? Okay. So, this last piece is, one of the most important thing, right? But I'm not going to cover it in this, topic. I'm going to let you guys go watch the full training that I did on this, because essentially there is a hidden benefit of this pricing model. When you charge a lot upfront, a lot of people are always worried about, I want to be able to retain clients. I want to be able to have an MRR. Well, let me tell you this. Gym Launch had a package-based offer on the front end, which was $16,000, okay? But you know what's funny? Their monthly recurring revenue was over $1.6 million a month, okay? And this is something that I haven't really seen Hormozi talk about a lot, but this is super, super beneficial. And he talks about something, and you guys have probably heard him say, but he says that you need to downsell the upsell. But the only way you're able to make the upsell seem like a downsell is if the first thing they bought was so high in cost and so anchored them at a high price that the upsell actually seems like a cheap deal. So I actually went more in depth into this training in the Growth Creator kind of like training, a more in-depth training that I did, and I'll walk you through how Gym Launch actually did this and how they were able to build MRR of 1.6 million, which is super impressive. So great job, right? So I actually show you guys how they leverage this Growth Creator model to be able to build this big of a company. And if you want to check this out, click the link below, and I highly suggest you guys check it out, because this can change everything about your life and business. Okay. And just to end this one, please remember that when you check out the training, you get to have an implementation call where now you're getting the knowledge, but you also need execution. So we would love to have you guys kind of like have me or my one of my growth consultant to kind of like walk you guys through an implementation call and walk you guys through everything that you guys need. Okay, so we're only doing 15 audits and implementation per week because it requires a lot of depth. So, and just to give you guys context, 35% of the calls get automatically canceled due to not being qualified, and 50% don't go past our discovery or vetting process. But when you do not go through to the audit process and the implementation process, we'll give you access to our scaling programs, which are, appointment setting program, growth specialist program, or the 5 days to 50K a month program, right? These free materials should help you get to the point where you're qualified to experience the growth creator model. So after you opt in, you'll be able to check out more. And if you want an implementation call, you can just schedule one, right? But guys, one thing I want to ask you guys is wherever you're listening this from, leave feedback, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, because I'm doing this every day, right? Someone asked me, hey, Serge, when is episode 2 coming? I'm like, the next day, right? So I really want to over deliver. I want to give you guys the knowledge. So here's the thing. The difference between me and a lot of growth consultants and a lot of experts online is that I actually don't want to educate you on the little tiny like BS stuff, like how do you set up your sales funnel or how do you set up an onboarding video. Like those implementation, those execution stuff, like that's pre-built. Like you can get that either by working with us and whatever. But what I want you guys to understand is to have an overview of the journey of building a multi-million-dollar business. And eventually I'll be sharing you guys the 8-figure roadmap, because what I realized is as an entrepreneur, the thing that will keep you from scaling is trying to solve the wrong problems. Okay? When you try to solve baby problems, you end up with baby results. But when you try to start thinking like the way that I'm showing you guys to think, right? I'm showing you guys higher level, like an overview or a higher kind of like point of view on the decisions that I had to make to go from 30K per month to over 600 grand a month, right? So that's not how to make 3K extra this month. Because if you try to make 3K extra this month, you're going to be able to make 3K extra this month. But that's actually going to cost you 300 grand worth of revenue, because while you're worried about making 3K extra this month, someone is worried about making 30 grand a week in new revenue, 30 grand a day in new revenue, right? So I hope that you guys don't mind me going a bit more kind of like higher level, right? Instead of trying to help you guys solve these tiny little bitty problems that don't actually scale your business. Okay, so this is episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.